Cronos is the new survival horror game out now, and while I have seen some say that this is a new Dead Space-like game, I would have to disagree. While just observing some of the gameplay and trailer stuff, I would even assume that this was going to be some type of Dead Space feel to it. But once I dove into it a bit more, I would say it's much less Dead Space, more Resident Evil Remake style with Metro atmosphere at times too. Though that's not a bad thing at all. I really liked its initial moments and continued on with the game. The more I played, the more I found that I really liked as well. This new IP is promising and rather fun. Cronos follows the tropes and aspects on what to expect from the genre, along with then funneling it all through a new world, set of characters, its own atmosphere and uniqueness in fighting enemies. The game has this interesting aspect where dead bodies, or even dead enemies, can be used against you by new and then living foes as they sort of meld with those dead bodies, and defeated enemies to get stronger. This encourages the player to then burn bodies whenever possible, allowing the enemy to not have access to them at any time. This sort of reminded me of the burn mechanic from The Evil Within. You can also use both of these to your advantage. Enemies will be drawn to sucking up these foes, so you can use that as a way to bait in enemies, and then get them with some good blasts, as sometimes they are more focused on getting more powerful than actually killing you. Or your fire blast, you can launch this to burn bodies, but is also used to then stun living enemies too, since there are firebomb stations where they will shoot these out indefinitely to you too. You can then use them to save a bit on ammo, or even make enemies just a bit easier. Being that this is a survival horror game, I was always saving up for the next fight, or even the one after that as well. And I think one trick is using that fire, and plenty of the explosives around these areas to your advantage too. Some of these challenge areas are rather intense and exciting, especially with how narrow they can be at times. To address the Dead Space comments again, yes, you are alone, but there are a lack of those Dead Space-like elements like zero-G, being in space, kinesis, the inversion of the headshot with the dismemberment, and so on. Just because Cronos doesn't seem to be the next Dead Space, doesn't mean it's bad at all. I'm really enjoying it and would even recommend it based on my current playtime with it, but maybe that will morph and change as I keep going, but right now, it's a blast. So I had an idea while I was playing an early part within Cronos. I wondered if it was possible to then run past an enemy. Like, could I get by them and get to the next area, and now not need to potentially deal with them? For an area I do not have to go back to, this could be really useful. Just bypass the enemy, save on ammo, and so on. Because at least at the time, it appeared that dead foes did not drop any sort of materials or rewards when they die. So at the point, killing them didn't really feel like I needed to. So at this point, killing them and then fighting was really just about survival, whereas in other survival horror games you might get those rewards like gel in Evil Within or money in Resident Evil. Now I did see that this did change as I kept going in Cronos, as enemies would die and then drop stuff for me to pick up. But either way, at one point early on I decided let's just try it, run past an enemy. I mean, sometimes they take a bit to compose themselves before they actually start attacking you. So I was able to do this, and it was really exciting as the enemy turned to quickly hunt me, and then I had to shuffle around near to get to the door to unlock it. But I went through, and then it would appear that I saved on resources and was just bypassing the foe for now. Then this caused me to think a bit more on if an enemy could follow you through those doors. So I went back up and saw that the enemy was still there, sort of patrolling. I started to antagonize it, and it would not go through the door. So in that sense, there are set points for some of these enemies, and that way I was getting a peek behind the curtain, as it were, to some of the intensity, but as a tool or something to be able to use to keep keep in my back pocket for an option to aid me in a survival horror game. I really liked this, and it was really fun, exciting, tense, and rewarding to kind of discover this all on my own. I say all this because I love doing this type of stuff in survival horror games. If there's a way to save on resources, and it may even involve a little cheesing, I'm okay with that. Yes, it's gaming, and I don't usually see this as a bad thing when it happens in these circumstances. One thing I did find odd is the execution of the boxes that you open. So throughout the game there are these boxes with yellow paint. You smack them and you usually get an item, like some type of useful resource. But then there are times where you get nothing. I was curious if these items were random, so I reloaded a save and got something from the box I previously got nothing from. So in that case, if you ever come across a box and you get nothing from it, if possible, reload and then try again, because at least you might get something that way. I feel like the boxes should be changed around. There should always be something in them. The game is indicating to me that these are things for the player to break to get items. To open them up and then get nothing in there makes you feel like the game is arbitrarily trying to cheat you out of resources. So I hope this is fixed so it's that consistent. You open a box, you get something from it, but what that something is can change from save to load. Something I want to touch on in this video, and I might even bring it up again in a future video as I play more, is the performance on PC. I will say that out of the gate, I am not a super knowledgeable PC tech guy. When it comes to this type of stuff, I have a few friends who help me out in these aspects. That being said, I was looking online, and even really high-end PCs are having problems achieving a steady 60 FPS. It would appear that the game does need more updating and patching as it pertains to performance, and I have no idea if this is something that can be completely solved through patching, or if it's something that needed to be done better when the game was first being developed. That all being said, along with some of my other comments with Cronos, it is still a title that I'm having a really good time with. The more I play the game, the more I enjoy it, even if I have to kind of turn it on potato settings. I am getting really immersed in it. This feels less like Dead Space and more like Resident Evil 4-ish, in a new setting with a bit of that metro atmosphere. The exploration, finding supplies, taking in the environments, the thrilling combat, and the interesting world all works to create an experience I don't want to put down. As I continue this journey, I continue to really enjoy it. For those of you who are interested in this game or any other PC game, please check out my Fanatical link in the description and pinned comment. Using this for your next PC purchase greatly goes to helping out the channel. Plus, the site tends to sell games at a discount compared to others like Steam. If you have played Cronos, what are your thoughts on it? And what is something you like from the game? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.